Oh man, um, the reason why I've been making videos is just simple. As I see how things are happening to my brain and go back, I realize that it's truly I find myself lucky in a sense, not because the torture. I don't want that. I don't want to be tortured, and I know that the fact that I'm bringing up reality that they don't want to, they want to escape from. They want to escape from what I'm saying. They wanted to come up with this fantasy where I was going to subscribe to these things they obviously do to others. And I was going to subscribe to, what we're doing. We're just mapping you to when you were a kid. Like, like, they wanted me to go with this nonsensicalness. Like, they truly wanted me to let them live that fantasy. And they knew I was going to know that these people do these things and what they've done to people. They knew I was going to get testimonials of others that somehow thought if they act accordingly, if they made enough noise campaign, if they slam the doors, if they was yelling the same thing, if they're going through the scripts, which I was gonna like be subscriptive to this. You know, the last videos I made is how they were trying to make me imagine these disturbing things, and then try to make me imagine of the stupid thing I did as a child. And I knew from day one it just made no sense. Yes, kids can do stupid things, right? Kids can do stupid, dumb things, especially at that age. That's an age where you just, as a boy, you just hit your testosterone all the way up. You can, you start discovering yourself and you do stupid things. And I did a stupid thing, and this stupid act that actually they have to exaggerate is something I did to myself. But it was just also in things that I'm embarrassed about looking back as an adult, looking at it, and I'm like, oh man. But now, imagine this is me as a kid in eighth grade, right? And now when they do these pedophilia things, they want me to think that what they're doing is just making me think of me when I was a kid. And so what they do in the last video was make me look at this baby, right? In this wholesome picture of this kid, which is what they always do. But then try to make me imagine me in as a kid doing the act that I did to myself, but her being involved in it, and then giving me the stimulation they make me have. Right now, they give me sexual stimulations that are so disturbing. They said they map to you when you were a kid. It's not true. They are making me experience things, and then going to my memories and manipulate these memories with these stimulations. It's nasty. But the saddest part is manipulating my memories of me as a child. Now, these people are known to be manipulative of memories. They force you to get stimulation. Those stimulations are forced. And so now when I feel this weird stimulation, they're like, oh no, we mapped it to you when you were a kid. So that's how you would feel when you were a kid. And I know it was fake. I knew this is not right. Initially, they tried to make me subscribe to that. I was like, no, this is exactly what you guys do. And I'm 100% aware that this is what they do, right? I know they force people to have these weird stimulations and sensations and aim them toward children. But the embarrassment now is beyond. It is so embarrassing now. It is beyond embarrassing. And they are trying their best to try to block out this obviousness. As they try to make me accept these pedophilia things that they've done to others. Let's start with the first embarrassment. A lot of target individuals have been saying something about pedophilia being utilized to break them down. So, what I'm saying has been said by other target individuals. People going through V2K have literally said the same thing I've said. Some of these people are mothers. Some of these people are women teaching children. Some others are just like trans women. That they are forcing them to react to children in certain ways. that they not only do the pedophilia type of torture, but not only that a lot of these target individuals have been forced to think in these pedophilia ways. It is so obvious that they do this pedophilia type of torture. And what they have to do for me is try to make me believe that what I'm experiencing as an adult man is what you experienced when you were a kid. It is just beyond humiliating. And when they try to talk about the actual act, forget about even the stimulations, because this stimulation is what they make me experience. I know I wasn't feeling like that. I remember not when I was a kid, see a kid, I'll get stimulation. That's the things they make me experience. This is what they force me to experience, and they try to implant it in different fashion. It's falsified, I know, but they manipulate memories. They can impose information and things into your memory and bring it up as if it's your memories. Even others have said that. It doesn't end there. As they try to talk about me as a kid and the stupid thing I did to myself as a child, I was listening to testimonials right now, and they're trying to counter that. And the testimonials of what they do to children. That is what can cause somebody to lose their mind. I was listening to the testimonial of how they were torturing children. Some of these children, we're talking about handicapped children, children with Down syndrome, autism, and other mental problems. They torture them sexually. This is not something I make up. This is the same people doing this thing to me are in a program that does that, right? And they were whispering, "This is fate, now you pay. They're gonna hung you well." And they're in a program that does sexual torture, suffocating kids. I'm talking about 7-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old little kids, little girls, little boys with mental handicap. And to counter that, they would just tell me like, oh it's gonna be fate. It's like, yeah, they know they do these things to babies. So as me, when they try to talk about the stupid thing I did to myself, I know what they do to children. And on top of that, these pedophilia things that now I'm experiencing every time I look at a child, any child, the babies. When is the babies? It's like, no, but remember when you were a kid. When is the older ones? It's like, whatever they try to create, stimulations, perceptions, all of the nonstop. It's nasty. And so no, we mapped it. It's like you be mapping to a lot of target individuals like that, even mothers with children. It's obvious they do these things to break people down. With me, they found a way to try to, okay, this stupid moment this kid did. That's that. We mapped it to that. Remember, you did these things. Like, yes, I was a stupid kid. If I told you the thing that I did to at that age was embarrassing. And this is a moment that happened once. They even had to create moments to fabricate things, make me imagine this. And they tell themselves how much of winners they are. Now we one who can break you down and make you think in these ways. As I'm listening to what they do to children, they even like they really try to, like, they gaslight themselves. They like trick themselves because they understand the level of illogicalness. In my brain, it's like, no, but you felt like that. In the argument and the dialogues I'm having in my brain is on a damn near spectrum level. While they tell them, no, we won. I just listen to what they do to kids. I listen to other people saying the same things, that they manipulate them to experience things toward children. I just heard about how they actually change memories and manipulate memory, make you experience things. I literally can listen to somebody say how even in memories they can implant personality, implant things into your memories. Everything has been said. Almost all target individuals are forced to see child porn in their mind. They condition these people in the target individual in these pedophilia ways. This woman saying like they do this program perversion, they aim it toward children. It's just non-stop. It doesn't even end there. Like I said, they torture children sexually. A woman literally said, there's a lot of females doing this to women. What kind of woman are you? In every ways. And you know the way they try to counter that? or they're gonna chain you. You see my cover of the video. They're trying to say that the way I'm thinking today is because they make me think the way I was thinking that age, around that age. You've heard a lot of testimonials. It's a lot of it, it talks about pedophilia being forced onto people. They're literally telling themselves how they're so winner, like they're winners. Because to them, to believe they're winners, they know that my brain is gonna think in this non-logical, irrational ways to try to make me subscribe to this. I know they manipulate my memories. I never thought this way when I was a kid. I never even had those sensation stimulations. I didn't look at a child and all stimulation. Of course I know that. When I'm talking about me as a child, 2 days just so, and on top of that, you have to tell yourself that no, what we're doing is like we're making you think like an 8th grade middle school. You understand? That's what they call themselves, winners. And then when it comes to the actual stupid thing I did to myself as a child, they know that I know they torture children. You know, hearing people talking about grown men. I saw on a client of mine. It's like, oh, we're adults. Because I've said, like, you're a grown-ass man torturing children, and you talk about me as a kid doing some stupid thing to myself. This man has children. He's in a program that can torture children sexually. But because the benefits are just so, the incentives are just so great, they're willing to think like that. Now, they like to talk about fate. Now it's just beyond. The testimonials, it was already enough. The testimonials were just too much already. It was overwhelming. To hear that they do this pedophilia type of torture, that not only just a few, but majority of target individuals start talking about it, that they manipulate the libido, they stimulate people in a sexual way toward children. They can manipulate the libido, they can manipulate your sexual arousals, they can manipulate your memories, they torture a lot of women, they torture children. Now, faith adds to this. We obviously know who's in charge here. It's not these neighbors here. They're not these people are just contracted trash. It's not this femme fatale psyops that I'm seeing. It's not that. They're not the one coming up with this. It's not their money. It's not this material, this technology. It's as sophisticated as it is, as amazing as it is. We know where this come from. At this point, it would be delusional to think that this is not DoD related, that there's not intelligence community involved in this. It would be delusional to not think that CIA is not involved in this. We know that it started creating this human experimentations a long time ago. They were the first one to initiate these things, mind control and all that, MK Ultra. We know this. These tactics definitely derive from somewhere there. CIA agents, dark energy. We know that DARPA is working on it. You go on the website, go on MTO, look for dark energy. You'll see some language there from there. And while they were trying to make me accept in nonsensical way, while I've already have all the testimonies, I have these people with another level of humiliation. There's been patterns, issues with pedophilia, right? They keep catching, or at least there's been documents released by those entities after a lot of requests, finding out there's quite an issue of pedophilia. At least they are showing a few, which we know that if there's a little bit, there's usually more than that. We know that these agencies will not disclosure, they will not be as transparent. They will give you just enough to make it look like, they have something handled, but we know that CIA, and DOD entities are not gonna be like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles. No, they're gonna be, oh, there's like a few there, of course, because these entities, in my mind, they try to battle that. These entities will not be transparent. Even what they show is very minimal. They don't show the names, of course, but even based on what you see, what was released, you found out that there is a pattern of pedophilia in these agencies. As I'm saying this, these perps contracted by these entities are doing everything possible to change subjects, to counter what I'm saying. It didn't help. Reality comes in. And it's funny how they tell me, like, oh man, we're so done now. It's like, now more than ever, I'm more validated than ever. It should have been done before I found out all these things. But I understand there's more to it. You guys are wanting to break me down. This is a program to develop a technology. So I understand why it's not something they wanted to get done. But now, these people, as they drag me to my death, I've dragged them to some place there's no coming back from. They have a good things to keep. They have to keep this secret. Not even the secret. They have to take this with them, waiting for it to come back. As they're gonna try to see me, they tell me I'm gonna be tortured. But the disgusting part is the fate that they like to say that in order to kind of counter reality is, it was fate that while they were trying to break me down and make me subscribe to these things, something came out that's kind of made things even more obvious for me. And this is the article that calls out the issue with pedophilia in these agencies. And we're talking about a lot of agencies, huh? Even DARPA. Like, the defense agency, was it Defense Agency of Research Program of the Army or something like that, or Defense Army or something like that. The Defense Advanced Research Program Agency. Or something like that. Where these people are specifically there to develop technology that is advanced. Like this technology that I'm dealing with. I'm a subject of. Even there. A program manager caught downloading child porn on their government computer. And mind you, this is the things they release this information, but they gonna censor a lot and filter a lot, and a lot of things are not gonna come up. But whatever they show, even that is an indication of the issue that's going on there. So as they were trying to make me think that, no, what we're doing, we mapped it to you. It's like, not only that, you are manipulating people in these pedophilia ways, and you're trying to make people accept these things. For me, it's like, no, but remember what you did as a kid. Not only that, you even manipulate memories to implant sensation stimulation that I'm experiencing today. Because now, you know how many times before I made this video, I saw a child that will try to create some sensation stimulation, try to create battles. It's going to happen all the time. I'm not the only one to say that. And every time it's going to happen to me, I'm going to continuously bring the testimonies to validate me. So these people who try to gaslight me, make sure that they dumb themselves down to the nth degree. I'm going to make it hard for them to look at themselves in the mirror and think they're normal. And finding out that there's a bunch of pedophiles, and people like comically, not even comically, but just try to just mocking the fact that there's a bunch of pedophiles. A CIA agent raping children and nobody's talking about it. A problem with CIA agent doing things to children. And it's not only CIA, it's a lot of other entities. And they're asking, why is there so many pedophiles working in these entities? They do all this background check. This is intelligence community. They know everything about you. Of course, they know about the employee. Why are they letting so many pedophiles in? Finding out these pedophiles are downloading child porn. And the thing is, for them to even use government devices that they know is surveilled, it means they don't care. It means that they are so free to do whatever they want that even they know nothing's going to happen to them. That they would download child porn on the government devices with no shame. They're nasty. In my mind, they just tell me how they're gonna frame me by implanting things in my, in my computer or whatever. But that's how nasty their life is. And for me, what they're doing every time they try to make me imagine me as a kid, make me imagine this stupid moment of a kid, then try to make me imagine another child or some other child there or some, to try to create these things. Like, no, they just play with my imaginations. There's nothing to imagine it here. They torture children. They were when they were doing these things, it was like they're making me imagine. Because in the last video, they're making me imagine this baby, this like 4-year-old kid, whatever. And they were trying to make me imagine the thing I did to myself as a kid in middle school. And just like imagine that was this kid. It was like, unfortunately for you, what I did as a kid is something I did once, right? That's what a child can do. It's impulsive child. A kid is a kid. They don't think clearly. It's a child. It's the mentality of a child. You even have to manipulate this moment, and you have to add stimulation and sensation that you make me experience today. Because every time I look at a child, you force me to have stimulations, and you want to make it seem like you matched it, you mapped it, you matched it. So you go into my memories, implant that sensation, and now I'm experiencing it there. Then now they're doing that in other memories, which is the nasty things. And then I'm looking at this kid. I'm hearing the testimony of 4-year-old children being tortured. And I'm like, these kids, that's the age of these kids that are being tortured by you lowlifes. You guys are torturing children that young. These babies. Can you imagine a little 4-year-old like this being tortured? Can you imagine a child being suffocated that young? Sexual torture. Burning, radiated, this kid. And they're like, yo, but can you imagine you doing something? You guys are not children. You guys are not stupid kids in 8th grade who did something stupid to want it. This is not. You guys are adult men and women. Even though you contract childlike individuals who are just bottom feeders that you contract. Implementing military-grade weaponry on these children, on these babies. To torment them and burn them and hurt them. Are you delusional? Do you think I'm going to let them leave the escape? I'm going to let you live your little fantasies? They're like, no, you're just making us imagine, just like you. What? I'm telling you, this is the kind of kids that you guys torture. Some of these kids actually have mental handicap. This is happening today. This baby, if she's in a part of a target individual's life, she'll be tortured. It's happening today. I'm not talking about a stupid moment a child did to himself at one time. A stupid moment as a child, an impulsive moment of a child in 8th grade, middle school. We're talking about kids that are being tortured by these lowlifes. Do you know they try to make me compare this? I was, yeah, but imagine, it's like, I don't have to. If this thing happened once to a child, that means that it was an impulsive moment a child can do. Kids do this. You guys are using military-grade weaponry, technology, to break people down and do that to children. And you want me to let you live your fantasy? Yes, you guys are bottom feeders and lowlifes, nothings. Do you understand? And to hear parents with their kids, I was like, oh, I have children. It's like, how old is your child? Okay, imagine your child being suffocated. Imagine your child being suffocated by a technology, military-grade weaponry, just to develop this technology. Yes, this is what's happening through. You don't have to worry about a dumbass 8th grade, middle school dumb kid who does something stupid once. But imagine your child being tortured by this technology, even sexually. By people around you, neighbors and things like that. I can never let them live their fantasy. And then on top of that, you worry about your children? Do you know what entities are filled with pedophiles? Yes, those same entities that develop this technology. They do that. They are filled with pedophiles. They are here doing things to 2-year-old and 6-year-old CIA agents. Do you think you have to worry about an 8th grader child, 8th grader who did something stupid? Just learn how to, do things to himself and just do a stupid thing one time? That's nothing. That's a stupid child. An impulsive kid who do something stupid, who doesn't even think twice about it. The same kid that will ask his cousin to help him flush, because you understand. while you are in a program that is out here torturing kids, and these kids, some of these kids have mental disease, mental handicap. A kid with Down syndrome who's 4 or 5 years old, sexually tortured. This trust respond, but you're nothing. Oh my gosh, if this is something, I'd rather be the nothing. I'm not gonna let them escape. I know what a kid is capable of doing. Stupid kids at that age do stupid things and move on and grow. That's part of, childhood. Can do, as a child you do impulsive, stupid things. Unfortunately, I did a stupid thing as a child. It's something that, of course, it will never be to that level. It's embarrassing to think about it, but I understand. At that age, testosterone is crazy. You can't stop doing things to yourself. This moment was impulsive. It never happened again, and that's to the point where now they try to make me imagine something happening over and over, and that will never happen. But I understand, they know me. They know that even better than me. They're working. They actually torture children, and they know people. They know me truly. They know this is not natural. They know the real me. They're trying to erase me. They implant this new version of me with this pedophilia things. When I look at children, they force me to have nasty stimulations. This is things I'm going to deal with for the rest of my life, because that's what they do. And they involve in a program that torture children like that, sexually, physically suffocating them, torment them, make them go crazy. Kids are already mental handicap. But like I said, the cherry, to find out that these entities who are contracting these bottom feeders, who are the reason why I'm drying up, the reason why I'm being radiated, these entities are problem with pedophilia, which makes sense. Who would come with tactics of utilizing pedophilia? Do you know how much the thoughts and the dreams and the conditioning that I've been experiencing to make me think about children in these pedophilia ways? It's so nasty. I'll make videos about them all the time, because I want to make it clear that I'll never subscribe to this. I will never identify it. And this is why you see the cover of this video with me as a child. They say, we matched it to you as that. And around that age, I was like, no. That's a kid who's capable of doing something stupid. As much they've been trying to create a pattern, because this down moment happened once. Now they look for, why, what can we do? Like, let's try to create something. No, that's what a moment a child can do. That, yes, you're right. And kids are impulsive and can do stupid things like that. That's what kids are capable of doing. You gotta look at it in the right perspective. But you're not there to examine or assess. You are here to manipulate me, to experiment, to experience nasty things toward children, and then try to find ways to cover that up. But it's impossible, because at this point, so many others have spoke about it. Oh, so this woman who had children, that talk about program perversion aimed toward children. You mapped to what? She was 10 years old? Like what? This Mariana talks about, how they do the pedophilia type of torture when she smelled like baby powder. You mapped it to what? She was like 7 years old? This transgender woman, you mapped it to what? When she was 11 years old? This almost all target individuals, like you mapped it to what age? When they have the force to have these thoughts, this pedophilia thoughts, and this imaginations of child porn and stuff like that. So I know that they force you to experience these things, and I know they manipulate memories. It's part of the mental torture. So me, I know who I am. I'll never subscribe to that, but every time I look at a child, I'm going to get some nastiness, because that's what they do. Then they're going to try to find ways to make me imagine something disturbing. This baby, so sad, this wholesome baby there, they try to make me imagine me as a kid, and then whatever stupid thing I did to myself, and then make me imagine this kid. And then add, of course, the stimulation they make me experience today. It's so nasty. It's nasty. But that's what I experience now. I understand. And to them, it's like, oh, we matched these people who are torturing children and filled with pedophiles. And another cherry on top of the cherry, the way they describe them. Listen to these people saying, literally say, like, they do this thing where they try to trick the target individual to believe that it's everything but this large government entity, which is obviously the Department of Defense. Of course, I know it's not these neighbors next door who just repeat things. Of course. How would they be able to make something? Like, of course I know. I know what this is really about. It's not this femme fatale I understand. We're talking about huge budgets. People just find incentives and want the benefits, and I'm sure there's some strong benefits involved in that. We're talking about a lot of money. And it's funny with me, they try to say like, we proved it to so many people. We proved that they're going to do these horrible things. Like, what? Do you think this? Do you think this is why I'm going to I subscribe to this? If these people next to me, these next door neighbors, these people can do this to me, knowing damn well this is manipulation, they have to create false thoughts and false memories and manipulate me and try to make me think that that was you when you were a kid, when I'm in my 30s, knowing that I know they do the peripheral type of torture. They think that I'm going to be like, oh, this person who's going to harm me, this is going to be like, oh my gosh, they mapped it to you when you were a kid. They don't do the peripheral type of torture. No, they just like this trash who knows that. This trash who's going to do whatever to me. They know that. They're going to play their part. They think I'm like, oh my gosh, we proved this so much. Of course, it's so obvious to see what they do. It's so obvious to see that they do the peripheral type of torture. And then on top of that, you find out there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. Okay. And they're like, oh, he's so mad. It's like, he's so mad. He's going to get his money. He's going to get his, it's about whatever benefit. He's so excited about that. They think I'm like, oh my God, so mad about it. Like, well, yeah, he's not mad about the suffocating of the 7-year-old autistic kids or the torture of children. He's not mad about the fact there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. He's not so mad about how they torture women sexually. Nah, he's not mad about the 3-week-olds that got the plague or the 9-year-old that they blinded. He's not mad about that, huh? You understand? So I'll see them for what they truly are. Target individuals. They are nasty, they are bottom feeders, and they have to dumb themselves down. My death, I'm okay with that. We're all gonna die. I don't know, I'm not fearful of death at all. I expect it. Maybe I won't put anything, like they said, I'll pray for it because I've been tortured to that point. But one thing is for sure, I'm thankful to God. Thank God. Thank God that they have to live their life. It's humiliating. It's humiliating. Truly humiliating. And then try to be like, no, you're nothing. I was like, oh my gosh. And thank God I'm a nothing then. You should see these people. I could not imagine myself functioning, living life normally. Just yeah, let me go pick up my kids. Yeah. I just got done, force somebody to think in this way. Try to counter the fact that these entities are filled with pedophiles. Try to block out the fact that this program is torturing kids. Some of these kids have mental handicap. And now I'm here to talk about this guy when he was a kid. It's like, oh my God, I was so mad when you were a kid. You did the damn thing you did to yourself. As to ignore every horrible things he just heard about what they do to children. I couldn't imagine living that life. There's gonna be, I don't know, the escapism they need to utilize is just crazy. They're like, they'll pay. I was like, oh gosh, that's no wonder why you don't want to be seen. They tell me I'm gonna be knocked out. I was like, what is, wow. That's gonna change exactly what you guys do to people, to children and to women. And the fact there's a bunch of pedophiles in this agency. Maybe if I get castrated, that's gonna change the fact that you torture children. Maybe it's gonna stop the fact that you you do the peripheral type of torture. Maybe if when I get stabbed and raped, then it'll stop the fact that these autistic kids were tortured by you guys, and there's a bunch of women being fried and raped day in and day out, and even 3-week-old babies all around the world. You will live happily, and you show how brave and dignified and how karma works. You who work in a program that torture children and women. Thank God that I didn't have to live their life. It's so humiliating. They're gonna live off my torture as if me crying and screaming is gonna change that. I'm thankful I had a chance to say that. Like I said, they should have killed me or done this before I found out all these things. But I understand the reason why I'm still alive is because they try to get the result they need. This is it's to develop a technology. They want to stress the person to the point where they get the result they need. But for them, unfortunately, they knew I was gonna find out about this whole thing. And now they're here open the door, yelling out, and scream and run back in the apartment. So when they see me scream, they're gonna know like this guy who screamed like this and yell. He knew that they were in a program that's out here torturing, killing children, suffocating them, tormenting kids, babies, 3-week-old infants, sexually torturing a 7-year-old autistic child, a 4-year-old and 5-year-old Down syndrome. He knew that. He knew that the entities that contract us are filled with pedophiles. People even asking, why is there so many pedophiles? What, CIA agent raping and doing things to children and they don't do nothing about it? Nobody's talking about it? What's going on? Where are you guys? I'll scream. But thank God I saw that before that happened to me.